Hi everyone, hope you're all doing well. Today I thought we'd just have a quick chat about a few things. I want to talk about the stock market, what has happened, what is going to happen, and the mentality around the stock market, and also a bit of a reflection time, because I think it's a really good time to reflect right now with what's going on in the market. So I was looking at the stock market. Obviously the stock market is doing very well. Already this year the S&P is up 3.3%, which is absolutely amazing. But the big thing for me is that obviously 2022 was a really tough year in the market, but 2023, really strong year. 2024, fantastic year, the most money I've ever made in the stock market. So far this year in 2025, it's been absolutely amazing. This could easily be my best year so far in the stock market. The account is absolutely flying. It is scary to look at the account every day and to see, like, we're talking, my portfolio is up thousands of pounds every single day, which is amazing, but it's scary to see that much money going up. I start looking at and comparing it to my salary that I earn at doing my full-time job, and then what I'm making in the stock market, and I'm like, wow, I'm earning what I would have worked, how many weeks, months in one day in the stock market right now. And it's fantastic. It's great because we go back to where, if I didn't talk about this too much, the 2022 JKR, the 2022 Jacob would be so mad that I'm not reflecting this now and talking about it, because what we had to go through in 2022 was such a tough market. It was awful to be going. 2020 was a pretty awful dip through that CV dip when everybody was panicking, it was closing, and that was a fast drop. I remember seeing positions that were dropping multiple percent. I saw stocks that I was up over 100% on turn negative in a 2-week period, which was crazy to see. And I think sometimes people right now are forgetting that can happen in the stock market. Obviously that was a bit of a black swan event, but never rule it out. But 2022 was a little bit different to the CV dip that we had, because 2022 was a dip where it went down like 2 or 3% every day, and it did it for a year and a half. And I would say that was actually probably more mentally destroying than the CV dip, because the CV dip was just so fast. It was awful seeing so many things go so quickly, but then it recovered also very quickly. The 2022 stock market was like, it wasn't over a month or 2 month period like the CV dip. It was a dip that just dipped and dipped and dipped and dipped, and for a year and a half as well. Some of these small caps in that 2022 stock market crash, it was brutal. It was brutal to go through a year and a half on that dip, and I had to come here. I was still making videos every day, and I remember for like a year and a half, I had to nearly make every single video going, it's tough right now, it could continue to be tough, but at some point the better days will come in the stock market. And there was times where even I was like, this is getting awful, this, and it was totally, the confidence and the positivity was lost. I remember making a video every single day, and I remember looking at the negative, the comment section every day, and I would get probably about 30 comments every day that were just completely negative. Stocks that I bought were down on the day, down massively. I was getting called every name, and it was a really tough time to go through, because for me, I only didn't have to go through the time period of like going on my account every day and seeing my account down. I had to go on my account every day, and then also they come make a video talking about it, and then get absolutely smacked in the comment section. It was like, it was like one of those where you get punched in the face, and then somebody offers a hand up and then punch you in the face again. And now I get to look at 2023 and go, it was an absolutely amazing year for us. We outperformed the stock market. 2024, we outperformed the stock market again. And then this year, I think already this year, we're only about a month and a half into the year, but my portfolio is close up to nearly 20% this year. That's absolutely insane. 20% in 1 year. It's absolutely amazing to kind of see that happening now. And all that's kind of success from, obviously PayPal's not a stock I own anymore, but we've walked away, we've made really good money on it. And, the fear where, this stock was pushed down for a good period of time if we zoom out a little bit more, this was down here for like a 2-year period. 2-year period of where the stock did nothing. Imagine having to buy a stock for 2 years and you just saw it do nothing. That's investing, guys. I think a few people have got used to the stock market just going up and up and up now, that they forget that reality check of what sometimes you have to go through. You have to go through them time periods sometimes where you sit on a stock for 2 years and it does absolutely nothing, and then eventually you get the rewards. It's brutal. Sometimes the stock market can be mentally brutal, where I don't know. That's the biggest thing for me in the stock market, is that it's not actually a test of your understanding of the financials, getting the grips of businesses. That's a good part of it. I'd say that's a good 50% part of it. I got to say, in my opinion, I used to think the stock market was maybe a bit of an easy thing to understand, but you can see why even some of the smartest guys in the world struggle at the stock market, because to get the mentality that you see a stock fundamentally performing for 2 years and it actually does nothing, in fact it can even go down. I mean, some of these investors today that have come in the stock market, you know, there's a lot of retail investors that have jumped in the last 2 years that have just seen the stock market going up and up and up, and they just go in their account every day and they think this is normal. They're going to be in for a shock, you know, when they do go through a stock market crash, because this is generally what can happen sometimes, and especially when we have the markets that we had. You know, we had the likes of Darktrace and Darktrace being bought out. I remember at one point I was down on my Darktrace position like 35% or something like that, and obviously then we ended up making 100% return. Then we had Lululemon do very well this year. Hims and Hairs, you know, I don't think people even remember it as much as what I do, but I had to make, you know, Hims and Hairs was down at like $8, $7, and the financials just kept getting better and better and better, and the stock just went lower down to $3. I remember making a video at $6 at Hims and Hairs going, surely this can't go lower, and it went 50% lower down to $3. And I had to make videos at $3. You know, I was down on Hims and Hairs like 30-40% at one point, and I had to make a video going like, this, ignore the share price, guys. This is a very good company at good values. And I remember like the comment section. Obviously, a lot of people have gone back and like deleted the comments now because I've clipped them. But I remember the time, you know, we got the amazing comment about Hims and Hairs being uninvestable, but that was one comment out of probably 30 comments that I had on Hims and Hairs during that time period saying this is a trash stock. And it's brutal. You know, you're looking at the stock and you see it go to $6 to $3 and you're thinking, how's this happening? And you got to believe in yourself, you got to believe in the company, you got to believe in the financials. And then, you know, very quickly, you know, the stock goes on to be a, you know, 1,000% return. And I don't know if you saw, Hims and Hairs did a Super Bowl advert, by the way. Seems to have done really well because people are talking about it. That's always a sign of a very good advert, in my opinion. No such thing as bad press. DraftKings, obviously, I mean, making a video about this one when it went all the way down to like $8, and I actually shared on the Discord the other day. There was a famous message that the CEO, Jason Robbins, put out when the stock hit $8, and he said, if you sell your shares today, you are going to regret this decision in years to come. And obviously, if you sold out at $8, then you are regretting that decision to sell it. And I remember when he made that statement and the stock was already down at $8 and people going, oh, Jason Robbins, why is he doing these stupid tweets? He should be getting his stock price up rather than falling 20% down to $8. What's he doing? And then obviously, you know, he proved everyone wrong. You know, Meta, another large position, up major amounts on that one. Mercado Libre, what a performer this one has been for us. SoFi, what a performer for us. Even on the UK markets, you know, you look at the likes of Audio Boom, that one's absolutely been flying so far. A new stock into the portfolio. Those analyst grade upgrades keep coming out, and yeah, it's around about 15 forward times earnings at the moment for a company that I think is going to grow a lot faster than what analysts are expecting here. So that's obviously really exciting. Supreme, you know, people say that you can't make money on UK stocks, but if you can buy the right UK stocks, you can make money, because this one, once again, this has been an absolute flyer for us. Airtel Africa has now started to turn around. You know, I remember so many people gave up on Airtel Africa because it did nothing. That FX impact kept, you know, whacking them for 2 years. They gave up, and now, you know, that one's done really well as well. And I've not shown this graph for about 2 years. The last time I probably showed a graph like this was when I'm making videos like this in 2022 saying stock market crash 22. Here's my plan, when I was making that in, you know, June 14th, 2022. And you know, where are we at right now? Because when I was making those videos in 2022, we were somewhere around here. We're probably somewhere around here, I would say now. You know, everyone's at that point of view where it's euphoria, everything you buy goes up. I'm seeing people getting more risky. You know, the newer investors have kind of gone, you know, we don't want to own dividend stocks, we want to own those high growth names. Everything we buy goes up. Everybody's gone from stocks to cryptocurrencies to buying options. And these people will learn lessons at some point. This will not continue forever. The cycle will repeat itself, and when this goes from here to here, it can be a major drop. And all these kind of terms of panic. I remember panic. I saw as a retail as this. What my favorite thing is about making YouTube is I can see the emotion around the market massively. So when everyone's kind of the bullish, absolutely bulls on the market, I can see it in the comment section talking about stocks flying. When there's the panic, I see people that are quitting the stock market. I see people that disappear from the YouTube scene commenting. I see people on Discord, the private group, that leave because they're like, I can't handle this anymore. I've seen the anger. I've seen where people are, wanting something to complain about. Oh, you're the reason why my stock is down because you talked about it on the internet. Depression, people saying, oh, I'm giving up on this stock market game. I've seen the full cycle, and at some point the cycle will continue. People don't think it will, but it will. We will go back to these days where in 2022, look at this video here, the Dow down 2.7%, the Nasdaq down nearly 5% in one day. Imagine if we had one of those days right now, how much fear that would create in the market. And it will happen. There will be a day when that the Nasdaq goes down that much again. It will happen, and it'll be very tough for a few people when they see those days happen. But always be prepared, because we will have a day where the Nasdaq is down 4 to 5% again at some point, and you've got to be prepared for when those days happen. And imagine those days when we get the Nasdaq down, not just 4 or 5% in one day, but then you get it for 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, and you imagine how much some of these stocks go down. There's stocks like Palantir and Nvidia that people think are untouchable now, and they may continue to do very well. But even stocks that I own, even like the likes of Hims and Hers, you imagine a day where the Nasdaq goes down 4 or 5%, how much some of those stocks go down. Because I tell you, the way that some of those stocks will go down on days like that, they will go down massively. And you've got to be ready for those days, because they will kind of come back. And, people think that everyone thinks they can go through those days when we're at all-time highs. But going through those days when it actually comes to it, trust me, it's not easy to do. It's not easy to do those days when you are going through those time periods. People will panic. On that video there that I just showed you, the most comment on there was, you have misled a lot of people, to me, on the stock market, because the easy outlet is for like, oh, an anger, blame, and need to blame someone. And what happened is people just get caught up in those markets. The panic sold, the anger takes over. That's what happens. Unfortunately, if people did listen to the message in that video where I do talk about my plan during the 2022 stock market crash, you might have done all right. Right now you would hopefully be, you'd have beat the market in 2023. You would have beat the market in 2024. Hopefully you're having an absolute fantastic year this year. And, during that time period, just look at this video here. Look at that. Look at that. Look at the red out there. Stocks absolutely falling everywhere. Opportunities, but people panic. People think before we get there, people go, yeah, of course I'll buy the dip. But it's a total different thing when you do go through that dip and you have to go buy those opportunities. I think at some point in this video, look at this, Hims and Hers. On this video here, right now, $3.76. People were panicking. People were not wanting those opportunities. Obviously, you guys know me. I was buying that stock. That stock is now my largest position. That stock I'm now up nearly 600% on. People panic during these time frames, and even the big YouTubers panic during this time frame. You've got to surround yourself with the right crowd during these time periods. It's all right in a bull period. Everyone goes, oh, look at me, I'm absolutely amazing. Come buy my expensive course. Take this guy here, this guy is probably one of the biggest stock market YouTubers out there. Well, I say stock market, financial news. He likes to be a stock market YouTuber when stocks are at all-time highs. He's a financial channel financial news channel when stocks are at all-time lows. That's how these kind of things go. And this guy that claiming, he's now at the top of the highs, selling £500 stock market courses when it comes to the times that are tough. This is a guy that has no idea. This is what happens, unfortunately as well, this is what YouTube is. it allows sometimes the biggest content creators out here, the ones that you search on YouTube and the ones that come up at the top of the search engine, quite often those are the guys that are absolutely clueless when it comes to a stock market crash. The other day, we'll probably make a video about this tomorrow, but this guy here is, talking about the biggest bubble in the stock market, Palantir. And it's like, well, hold on. This guy has the audacity to say that this stock is in a bubble. But when we were going through that tough time, when we were going through this time here, what did this guy do? This guy went and deleted all his stock market content videos. He stopped talking about stock market content. He stopped talking about his stock market portfolio. He actually went and sold this stock that he's talking about here. He actually sold this stock during the worst of the stock market period time. He actually panic sold his stock. He panic sold his stock at $7, and from there the stock's gone up 1,400%. This is what happens, guys. Fear takes hold of people. Unfortunately, even though these guys are pushed to you and the bull markets are pushed to you on the YouTube content, even these guys are panic selling, and that shows you how tough it is during this time period. So many people think they can do it, but you watch when we do have that flip and the market does crash, people panic solve. But, as soon as we're at the top of the market now, oh, look at me, an absolute genius, and come buy my course. But, during that time period, people panicking, selling, deleting videos and all that. And the other thing that also made me aware as well is during that time period when we were going through that 2022 stock market crash during here, is also, from my point of view, is that it makes me laugh that when the stocks go up, everyone's kind of happy and everyone thinks they're a genius. But when we go down, it makes me aware as well as, like, when we talk about the anger side of it, how many people are looking for someone to, put that blame on. I was looking at the screenshot I showed you earlier about this one, like here. People are always, trying to, it made me aware, like, how many people are, are looking for that outlet to kind of put that blame on. And it made me laugh today because I got a comment the other day about a video on JD Sports, and someone said, wow, that's one heavy bag. And, it makes me, that 2022 stock market crash, and I'll never forget it, and I said it at the time, I said during the 2022 stock market crash, is that when we get into a bull market, I'll never forget in 2022, like, how I was treated on the YouTube channel, because I remember on the YouTube channel, on the comment sections, the negativity that was in there every day was so much. And I'll always remember that, because when we get back into a more negative market, I'll be ready for the next one, because these comments like this will kind of come back again, where there's so many people out there that wanting to see you fail, and I don't know whether it's because they see you have such a good 2022, 2021, that eventually when the stock market goes down, they want to jump on and see you fail, and also that maybe a few people are wanting you to blame. But, like, I got this comment yesterday and it made me laugh, because of all the stocks that are up, and on my previous videos, where I talk about Hims and Hers at $3, it makes me laugh because you'll never see a comment on those videos going, wow, that was an absolutely amazing call. But it makes me laugh because I'll still get videos on the stocks like JD Sports, because it's been a little bit in the dump, and you'll see this negativity out here. And it made me laugh because this video I posted during this time period of 2022, and it's actually lower since then. It's down about 30%, which is probably not nothing major, but it made me laugh because during that time period, I was up 51% at one point and was taking good profit off. That period, you're up 37% and you're taking good profit off. Once again, up 29% and taking good profit off. All those kind of points are just kind of like thrown out the way of, like, oh, well, you made money those 3 times, but actually now it's down. And, it does make you laugh. Like, people are there waiting for you or looking for that one stock to go, but this stock didn't work out. And that's also something that made me, a lot more aware in the last few years, is that people, I even see it now, like, I'll have, like, one stock that's failed, and I'll see a comments on that one stock that's failed, rather than going, but this is the guy that was buying Hims and Hers at $3, SoFi at $6, DraftKings at $8, Meta at $80, Google at $80. It does make me laugh. But as always, we got to be ready for those opportunities, because there's always opportunities in this market. Even right now that stocks are absolutely flying, there's still probably opportunities out there for you to make money. JD Sports, I think, is in that kind of fear right now. I think, you look at the likes of AMD. I think AMD right now is one that you look at and think, I still see people right now talking so negative about AMD. I made a video the other day. So many people just negative on it because the share price is down. Nobody wants to own it. Very much where we were like in 2022. Nobody was talking about wanting to own DraftKings at $8 or HIMS at $3. Nobody wants to own it. That says to me, where we at in that cycle when we go back here. We're probably down here on these stocks where people are just angry and depressed about it. Gaming realms exactly the same. I remember someone on the other day was saying that I was gambling on a gambling stock, and it was like, if that's what you think it is, then that's what it is. But it makes me laugh because when this cycle flips on a stock like this, and we go up here, people will be going, fuck, Jesus Christ, I wish I bought Gaming Realms at 41 pence, and when that stock goes up to 80 pence or more, up to the £1 range, I'm sure people will be going, oh, Gaming Realms was such a good obvious opportunity. Of course it went up, and makes me laugh that now while it's down here at the moment, nobody wants to own it. And that's just the cycle. That's the cycle that we go through all the time. And it does get a while to get used to it. It took me a while to get used to it as well. But overall that's the video for today anyway, because I just wanted to talk about the cycles of the market, reflect on what was being such a good year for this year, what was a tough year in 2022, and just kind of the whole kind of cycle that we do go through in the stock market. And there's not really much point to the video today, but for me, just to kind of talk about a few things, and hopefully just a bit of understanding of where when we look at the chart of that we were going through there, when we talk about the euphoria in the market and depression in the market, there's always that going on somewhere in the market. It just depends where we're at. Sometimes it can be more euphoria, sometimes it can be more depression. And I would say we are at the more euphoria side at the moment, but there's still opportunities out there. There's still stocks that are in the anger and depression mode, and there'll be a time period as well where the market overall goes more to that anger or depression mode compared to where we're at right now. And just be aware of that. So, but also a reflection. I think that if I think 2022 me would be quite angry with me, because I've not really been, I always spend most of the YouTube videos talking about here's an opportunity, here's the opportunity, here's the opportunity. I always spend most of the YouTube videos doing that, and 2022 me would be very unhappy because I've not spent much time at the moment recently saying like, wow, we're absolutely smashing it. And I think that's also good to do, because I think sometimes you got to reflect on a few things, because there's always people out there trying to put some negativity on your name. And when you actually step back and you look back and you look at your returns over the last few years and this year as well, sometimes I think you got to give yourself a pat on the back as well. And I think that was also a little bit of today as well. So sorry if it was a little bit of a big-headed post as well, I guess. But thanks for watching, guys. See you in a bit.